Reacting to the Capitals game tonight, a little bit of tea time, and much more on this episode of Locked On Anaheim Ducks.
You're Locked On Ducks, your daily podcast on the Anaheim Ducks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome. Thanks for making Locked On Anaheim Ducks your first listen every day, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I am Kyle Carr, and I am a lifelong Anaheim Ducks fan, and I've covered collegiate sports for multiple years, including college hockey, and today we're talking about Anaheim Ducks hockey. So first off, we're going to break down the game. I just got home from the Washington Capitals and Ducks game at Honda Center. And then after that, I'm going to talk to you about a little bit of tea time. Going to cover Troy Terry, Jacob Trouba, and Trevor Zegras, and kind of what I got out of their game tonight and the whole season as a whole. And then we're going to go into the look forward into tomorrow's game and just some things that the Ducks need to apply to their game moving into the rest of the week. So first off, let's get into tonight's game against the all-present hot Washington Capitals. So something that kind of was interesting to me right off the bat, the fourth line is who started the game tonight. That was Jansen Harkins, Ross Johnston, centered by Isaac Lundestrom. They started the game against the Caps tonight, and right off the hop, there was an immediate forecheck from the line. They applied the pressure. They were playing physical the whole game, but to see that right off the hop, get the puck into the Capital zone, unfortunately couldn't score off of that, but they applied it. It was really good. They got some pressure on Thompson, and then a quick change. Mac and C's line came out. That's the McTavish, Colangelo, and Cutter Gauthier line. They started taking over the offense, but unfortunately, the Capitals were able to get it out of the zone and down into the Ducks' defensive zone. After that, Dylan Strome's line. So Strome, Terry, and sorry, not Dylan Strome. That's going into the goal. Ryan Strome, Troy Terry, and Frank Vetrano came out to face off against Ovechkin's line. So it seemed to be Coach Cronin's matchup for the night was to have that line out against Ovechkin. It mixed up a little bit later in the game, but most of the time, if Ovechkin's line was out, you saw Strome, Terry, and Vetrano out there. Quickly, right after about two changes, there was a face-off down in our zone, the Duck zone, and Dylan Strome was able to score after Ovechkin snuck a puck through the neutral zone. Ducks were trying to enter the offensive zone. Little bit of miscommunication. Ovechkin gets the puck, sends it right through the neutral zone, which basically created a 2-on-none. And Dylan Strome, the other Strome, not the right Strome for the Ducks, he scores, makes the game 1-0. But Ducks were not dismayed. That was about the 2:10 mark of the game. At 4:51, Troy Terry in the Ducks offensive zone, working the puck really well. He gets it, feeds him and Vetrano work it below the net, and then he feeds it right to Trouba. Trouba snaps it on net. I'm pretty sure it went past the net, hits the boards, bounces right back, and Trouba gets his rebound and then puts it in for his first goal as an Anaheim Duck. We're going to talk about it a little bit later in the show, but Trouba was definitely sticking out to me tonight. And just overall the last few games, I feel like he's fitting really well into Anaheim. So we got a tie game. Lings are looking good. Ducks are playing well. But unfortunately, that was not going to be... Actually, no. Sorry. Getting ahead of myself here. Few minutes later after Trouba gets his first goal at the 5:20 mark, so 4:51, then 5:20, not even 30 seconds later, Hellison, after a beautiful feed from Zegras, right from the blue line, rips a nasty shot through and gets a goal giving the Ducks their first lead and unfortunately only lead of the game. And that was a wonderful play by Zegras, but also in that play, Leo Carlsson was involved in the forecheck, and it was the Leo Carlsson bobblehead night tonight. So all the fans that were at the Honda Center, the first like 10,000 or whatever, they got one. I have mine around here. I'll show you guys tomorrow's episode, but it was a really, really good bobblehead night for the team. So for him to get a point on his bobblehead night, Carlson, that is was really good to see. So excited for him. Good to see Trevor also getting involved in the offensive scoring on that score sheet. But then after some good physicality, it was looking like the Ducks were really playing well. Something that I noticed was their angling tonight. The way that they were angling and applying the physicality. So you'll hear that a lot in hockey talk when it comes to checking. It's not just the big hits in the open ice or the hits against the boards. The checking where you angle the player off and completely cut him off from the puck and get in between him and the puck. I noticed that very prevalent tonight, especially in the neutral zone or as the Caps were trying to transition. It shut down a lot of opportunities from the Capitals tonight as they would not only apply that physicality, but cut in, get the angle, lift the stick, take the puck, and make the play out of the neutral zone. So really good to see that. Looks like the Cronin mentality has really starting to come through the team tonight. I keep wanting to say Carlson, and with John Carlson and Leo Carlson, Coach Cronin, his mentality, his style has been coming through. A little bit of a breakdown, though. Unfortunately, there was a little bit of confusion in the face-off. It was a offensive zone face-off for the Capitals, so defensive zone for the Ducks. Little bit of a miscommunication, tie up, puck kind of just was sitting there for a sec. Protoss on the Caps, able to get his stick on the puck and whips it past Dostal. That was at the 14 minute mark of the first period. So those late period goals, always a little bit of a stinger. That tied the game. Capitals, for lucky for the Ducks, ended up giving a late period play penalty to the Ducks. So right about 30 seconds left in the first period, Ducks do go up a man on the power play. Unable to capitalize at the end of the period. Coming into the second, they had about that minute and 30 seconds of power play time. And once again, were not able to capitalize to give themselves the lead. So power play was another issue tonight. We'll get into that a little bit later, but too much passing. And then because they were unable to capitalize and not get the lead a little bit later in the period, there is a breakdown in the defense, which allows Pierre-Luc Dubois to get an easy redirect goal, just literally standing to the right of Dostal. I noticed because it was in the second period and I was behind Dostal during that period. Looked like Gudas was battling down low behind the net, and his stick ended up kind of getting caught up on one of the Capitals players, which I'm pretty sure it was Pierre-Luc Dubois. And as Gudas went to go get his stick and recover his position, that's when Pierre-Luc Dubois came around right next to Dostal, and the Caps player at the blue line spotted him, put it right on his stick, and it really not much Dostal could have done on that one. It just popped right, redirects in. That gives the Capitals their second lead of the game, which they did not give up the rest of the game. Again, too many passes. Towards the end of the second, no other scoring was really happening for either team. And then they get a late power play. The Ducks, that is, get a late power play late in the game or late in the second period there. And this time with a minute of power play time during the end of the second period. And it's just too many passes. There was just not enough shooting. Just they kept moving the puck. But it seemed like they were trying to set up the perfect one-timer. Just like move it to the point. Guys would have a clear lane to shoot it through to make some chaos, but instead they kept moving it off to the bumper position to try to get that one-timer. If it wasn't in their feet, they'd give it back. And then finally they get a one-timer shot. It'd go wide and then around the boards and out of the zone. So then they'd have to reset. So something, especially when they're working the umbrella on the power play, that's where you got the guy on top and then two guys on the sides. And then the rest of the power play unit trying to make that kind of straight line, taking up the slot, causing traffic. That's the opportune time to get pucks through from the top of the point and the blue line. But it seemed like they were just really focused on getting the one-timer shots from the side, and it just was not working tonight. Did not, it's, not sure if that's what the game plan really was. Hopefully they work on it in practice in between tomorrow's game and then also before the Predators game on Friday. So definitely would like to see a little bit more shooting, especially from those blue line guys, the quarterbacks of the power play. So again, unfortunately, no capitalization on the power play. However, later into the third, they did have a penalty, the Ducks, that is, and Killorn almost scored shorthanded. And then as soon as the penalty ended, he almost scores again down low. And you could see he was so frustrated. I watched him skating back to the bench, and it took him almost every fiber in his being to not smash his stick across the ice or on the boards or whatever. You could see him get it, and he was so upset, so frustrated. And I think most of the crowd tonight was a little frustrated with Killorn as he ended up giving a breakaway later. But before that, the Ducks did get a tying goal through Minchikov. They were putting a lot of pressure on in the third period, which I did like to see. And finally, Minchikov has the puck at the blue line and gets a shot through. It was a pretty rough shot, or tough shot, fast one, good, a lot of power, a lot of speed. And for some reason, Logan Thompson it goes into his glove. He bobbles it, and it ends up in the back of the net. Not complaining from the Ducks' perspective, but definitely one that Logan Thompson would like back. Game is tied. Not even a minute later, there's a unfortunate breakdown in the defensive zone again, and this ends up giving Protoss another goal, giving the Capitals the lead 4-3 right back. Literally, you could say it was either on Killorn or Carlson, but a little as the Ducks were trying to transition, the Capitals kept it in, and you could see Zegras and Carlson kind of go, or maybe it was Zellweger, because Zegras was tied up. Zellweger and Carlson both curl and go towards the boards to support, and then Protoss is just left alone. Killorn notices that he's left alone, tries to get to him on time, but by that time, he's already got the puck in the back of the net. So another breakdown on the defense that led to the Capitals getting the lead. And the Ducks tried to get the lead or to tie it again, and they were successful. Minchikov comes up, makes a great play to keep the puck in the offensive zone, gives it to Ryan Strome, the right Strome, and then Strome with some vision sees Vetrano across on the far side, whips him the puck, and Vetrano made sure to put that thing as far into the back of the net as he could with a beautiful snapshot. So love to see Vetrano getting back on the goal column tonight. But then as soon as the tie happens, it seemed like the Ducks turned it on. They were bringing everything against Logan Thompson, but nothing was going in. They had 15 shots in the third. It was the highest shot count of all the periods. They were putting the pressure. It was pretty much like most of the play after the tie was in the Capitals' defensive zone, but it was like no matter what the Ducks did, every bounce, every loose puck, every opportunity just wasn't going in. There were so many times where it was like the crowd would jump up thinking that it was a goal, but it was somehow just not going in. And unfortunately, it's like when those nights are happening and there's just no puck luck, no bounces going your way, that's when stuff happens. And sure enough, after all that pressure, the pucks goes down to the defensive zone. Ducks get it. They're about to break it out. And another unfortunate giveaway just gives it right to Tom Wilson, who puts a massive shot on Dostal. Dostal makes the save, but the rebound goes directly to Dowd, and he puts it basically in an empty net, giving the Caps a 5-4 lead. And then the Ducks could never come back after that. Another goal was scored later in the zone. Basically, the Ducks have it. Again, they're bringing on the pressure, and the Caps try to break it out. They pop up into the neutral zone, but Minchikov kind of gets caught on his heels, can't handle the puck, which gives Beauvillier a clean open breakaway. He puts the moves on Dostal and scores, that making it a 6-4 game. And then the Ducks finally pull Dostal with a few minutes left. They were playing well. They were keeping it. You could see Ovechkin was out there as soon as the empty net happened. There's a couple chances. They shut it down. And then finally, Ovechkin gets it, sees Protas, one of their younger players, wide open. He already has 2 goals. So Ovechkin moves him the puck. He skates it up, gets his third and first hat trick of his career. So just a veteran move by Ovechkin. From the hockey perspective, you love to see that. He could have easily taken that empty net shot and made it 9 goals or 8 goals for him to reach the Gretzky record. Not 8 to reach Gretzky, 9 to break it. But instead, he gives the new guy his first career hat trick. So that was pretty much the end of the game there. I know it's kind of a lot, so we're going to go into our tea time after the break here, and we'll be right back talking a little chisme. All right, guys, looking into optimize your nutrition this year? Factor makes eating well easy with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved meals that are fresh, never frozen, and ready to heat and eat in just 2 minutes. With 40 options across 8 dietary preferences every week, you can customize your meals to fit your lifestyle. Whether it's Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, or Keto Plus, Factor even offers wholesome smoothies, breakfast, and grab-and-go snacks to keep you fueled all day long. I love how Factor takes the stress out of meal planning because I'm not a big math guy. I'm not trying to sit there and figure out what I need to eat to get so much protein, to get whatever calories, all of that. I'm just trying to go, and I don't want to figure out how much my budget is to go eat at a restaurant and get that food. With Factor, I get a meal that's prepared by someone else that I don't have to spend the time cooking, and I can have fantastic food with the protein that I need to keep up with life. The convenience is unbeatable. No prep, no mess, just great food in minutes. Eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/LockedOnNHL50 off and use code LockedOnNHL50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code LockedOnNHL50 off at factormeals.com/LockedOnNHL50 off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. All right, guys, time for some tea time, or the chisme, as they say down south. So it's Tuesday. We've got a lot of players with the letter T in their name. So we're going to cover kind of just what I've been paying attention to and what I've noticed about these guys. So first off, we got to talk about Troy Terry, T squared. He's been doing all the little things right, but he only has 2 goals in the last 14 games and only 8 assists. So 10 points in the last 14 games. And honestly, the streak could go a little bit farther, but I don't want to ruin the guy right now. He's already got enough going on, but it's with his season this year, he's the most active on his line. It seems like he's always the engine behind that line, really behind the team, the engine behind the machine that is Ducks hockey. Watching him tonight, it was like you see him, he's completely engaged on the forecheck. He's the most aggressive guy out there. He's battling in the corners. He's lifting guys' sticks. He's putting pucks into the slot. He's making tape-to-tape passes, just completely heads-up hockey. But for some reason, it just was not going in. He did get an assist tonight, but he could have had 3 to 4 points tonight with how he was playing. Right now in the season, he does have 48 points total, with 31 of them being assists. So clearly his role this year has been being a playmaker, especially on the power play and with his line mates. But I just wish I could see him shoot more and get some more goals, especially as the season rolls on towards the end here. That he's one of those guys that just deserves to really be making a lot more offensive, at least on the score sheet. Like I said, he does all the right things. The little things he does right. Like the things that don't show up on the score sheet, that's Troy Terry's bread and butter. I know he can show up more on the score sheet though. And tonight it was, again, it's just the puck luck, the bounces were not going his way. So I really see a lot coming out of Troy Terry, and especially next year after kind of getting settled into being a new dad and getting used to that family life as a player. I think next year is going to be a huge stepping stone for Troy Terry. And then we got to talk about Jacob Trouba, the other big T on the team. This guy finally gets his first goal as a Duck, and not an offensive guy. He used to, not compared to how he used to be with the Jets and with the Rangers, but the way that I see Trouba and I think the way they sold him coming to Anaheim was that he doesn't have to be that guy. The Ducks have so many young guys that are offensive-minded defensemen, and even Gudis, like some of the more veteran guys. There's other players in the defensive core that can be the offensive defensive type guys. Trouba is the shutdown D-man for the Ducks. That is what his role is, and I think he is honestly living up to it perfectly. Like, love him or hate him, he is a key asset to the Ducks defense right now. Watching him tonight, there was so many plays that he shut down that honestly the Capitals could have had a lot more points tonight. Granted, yeah, I know 7's a lot, but the way that the Caps were playing when Trouba was out there, he was spot on. He shut them down plenty of times. He was making really big physical plays. A couple times he straight up bodied dudes off the puck. So I love watching the way that he plays and the physicality that he brings and allows the younger defensemen on the Ducks team to play with that kind of confidence and play a little bit more offensive minded, because they know when Trouba's out there, he's going to be shutting things down. So congrats to him getting his first goal as an Anaheim Duck. I honestly see him sticking around longer than this season. He could be a big trade piece for the offseason, but I really like the way that he has settled in to the team as an Anaheim Duck and as that shutdown physical defensive guy. The Trouba train is alive and well in Orange Country. And then our last guy of the tea time, Trevor Zegras. He's still doing what he's doing. He's continuing to play a good 200-foot game. He had the beautiful assist tonight to Hellison, and just he continues to really honestly just play a strong physical game. He was getting engaged after whistles tonight, shutting guys out of Dostal's face, cutting off the angles, making good neutral zone passes, just really bringing his A game every single night. I know he kind of had a reputation of shutting down a little bit or being a little wishy-washy last year. Injuries will do that, and being a young player, you get a little frustrated. But now that he's on this team that is aggressive and offensively minded and playing a really positive type hockey, I think the culture around him is positive, and it's making him a lot more positive. And then him being more positive makes the team more positive. And so Trevor Zegras is the straw that stirs the drink around Anaheim. Gotta love it. That's the tea time for now. Coming up, we're going to talk about what's going to happen in the next game and what the Ducks need to do better moving forward. Looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Crackin, a good source of protein with wonderful pistachios. Wonderful pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller longer. When I have to run between work and dropping my son off at hockey and then get to my men's league game, I love that Wonderful Pistachios is a complete protein, providing all 9 essential amino acids. So it's nice when you're running around between everything life throws at you, knowing Wonderful Pistachios, no shells, is a snack that works as hard as you do. That's right, they have no shells and shelled. Anything you need to grab it. Get snacking and get cracking with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. All right, last bit here. Looking forward to tomorrow's game. Another back-to-back for the Ducks. It seems like they have a back-to-back every week leading into the final months of hockey here in the NHL. So, a big thing that the Ducks need to do tomorrow, the Mac and C line needs to get on the board. When they score, the Ducks usually tend to do better. Tonight, unfortunately, Colangelo's goal streak does come to an end. It was great while it lasted, but they were playing a really great game. They had a lot of opportunities. It was noticeable when their line was out. Cutter Gauthier was using that speed that Verbeek is talking about that he sees in him. A lot of good plays from Colangelo tonight. The one thing that I need to see is McTavish stepping up. It seemed like tonight, I don't know if he's battling something or playing against the Caps, just a little not really starstruck. He's played against them before, but it just seemed like he was a little slow tonight, kind of lost in the sauce, not really moving his feet as well. There's a couple times where him and other Ducks players got tangled up on each other and they were kind of fumbling around. So I would really like to see a little bit more out of McTavish. I know he's able to make those plays and be a bigger playmaker, make heads up plays as well, get more involved in the forecheck and move his feet. He's got quick feet. He's got quick stick handling skills. He's got the everything's there, but tonight it was just like something was just not clicking. So tomorrow, Mac and C's, I'm telling you, they're going to be getting 2 to 3 points tomorrow. Count on it. Against Utah, they can do it easily. I have faith in these guys. Like I said, Cutter and Colangelo were the buzzers of that line tonight. So looking forward to see what they can do. I would like to see him also shoot more, especially when it comes to the power play. There were plenty of times tonight that McTavish had opportunities to shoot. Even the crowd was yelling shoot. As much as that drives me nuts because the crowd starts shouting shoot 2 seconds into the power play. But there were definitely a couple times where the lane was there, the shot was there, and instead he makes the pass. And he wasn't the only one. It was the whole power play as a whole. They got to get pucks through, especially when there's traffic. That's just opportunities wasted when there's all the traffic. The guys are battling, getting in stick battles, pushing each other, trying to cause mayhem in front of the net. That's what we got to do on the power play. The Ducks need to shoot it. Come on, guys. And then they got to lock down the defense. Continue that forecheck. That's been great. The offensive forecheck's been good, but they got to lock down the defense. The Ducks were just a little sloppy tonight. There was a couple turnovers or breakdowns in defense that led to goals. They had so much pressure going on, and then those breakdowns that lead to goals just completely flatten the team, and it takes everything out of the sails. Everyone just kind of starts to lower their heads, looking down or looking up, doing the kind of body language, and that can't be happening. We got it. Also, the tape to tape passes. The Ducks need to work on the tape to tapes. There was too many long bomb attempts tonight. Too many times where they're trying to make the big through the neutral zone, send the guy, and it was just like beer league special basically. And the Caps were easily read it off and cut it off, and then take the puck away. So the quicker tape to tape, smart passes, and then less of them. Shoot the puck, guys. I don't know what was going on tonight, but on breakaways, on odd man rushes, they would slow down the play and kind of just stop and let the Capitals get regrouped, and then it would turn into nothing. There were plenty of times when they had opportunities to just go down, get a good shot on net, or make the 2-on-1 pass across, something more than what they did. I don't know what was going on with the slowing down. And then the last note for tomorrow with that, they got to continue the speed. They got to continue shooting, and we got to get someone in the high slot. I don't know how many times the puck bounced out to the high slot and not a single Ducks player was there. It drives me up a wall. That it's like, number one, always have someone in that high slot position. Too many times, guys, there's 2 or 3 forwards below the net. You cannot shoot or score from behind the opponent's net. You got to have guys in front of the net to get those pucks into the net. Come on, guys. Let's go, Ducks. You got this. And then tomorrow, do not take the Utah Hockey Club for granted. They are not one of the top teams, but they are a good team, and they cannot play down. They need to play like they were playing against the Capitals tonight. Play hard, play fast, play the right way, do the little things right, continue being tough, and have the mental toughness. It is a back-to-back. We saw what happened against Vancouver after the Edmonton game. They actually won against Edmonton and then kind of laid that dud against Vancouver. So tonight they're going from a loss to a back-to-back. So they need to be mentally tough. They need to play physical and do the little things right tomorrow and come away with a glorious Anaheim Ducks win. And speaking of Anaheim Ducks wins, I'm excited for the rest of the season. I hope it goes on well. And you guys have all been a win for me. So continue to like, subscribe, and share with all of your Ducks fans. Thank you for making Locked On Anaheim Ducks your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the Locked On NHL podcast, bringing you the daily league-wide stories that matter with the local coverage you love from Locked On. Find Locked On NHL on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Same with this show. I'm Kyle Carr. Thank you for listening. Be good out there.